got some minutes. Any comments, gentlemen?
Appeared accurate to me.
The only comment I had was we originally referenced the April 8th for the groundbreaking. We subsequently changed it to the minutes reflect the discussion of the 8th. So just want to clarify that is the 29th then?
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Mike?
Yes.
PJ? Yes. John?
Yes. Okay, Chief Phillips.
Got a couple things, but first I'd like to yield the floor to Patty Phillips from Fire Devils.
The Fire Devils would like to request the use of Adam Hall on November 19 for the craft and consultant fair as we did last year.
Well, certainly, personally, I have no problem with that.
It is clear we've already penciled it in with Nancy, but we needed to get your approval.
Okay. Same terms as, what did you pay for cleanup? Or?
We did our own cleanup. Last year left it just better than what we found it, and everyone was very pleased.
And we'll do the same this year, right?
Yes, we will.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we make that available to the Fire Devils on that date.
I'll second.
Mike?
Yes.
PJ? Yes. John?
Yes.
Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Evidently, people haven't got the message yet about the driveway being closed to the service garage, which will have people attempting to make their way through. Even though we got a backhoe parked in front of the driveway and cones and everything, they still think they're going to go through. So,
Do we see the left gate at the other end? Turn around?
yeah.
The sign up says Auburn Road open. Maybe try that.
So when I catch people, I try to tell them and get the message across.
Tell them the obvious.
The second issue is it's becoming open burning season. There's no open burning permitted in the township without a permit. And those who need a permit need to contact me via my mobile phone, 440-343-0064. That's it for the fire department.
Okay. Mr. Troyan.
The other thing is, we did get the playground equipment pulled out on time, and it is safely being stored in Bainbridge at their facility until the time that we can find out where we're going to put it and get it set up. So I'd like to thank Bainbridge for helping us out in that project, since they actually didn't take any of the equipment. Just trying to be neighborly. Okay. All right. And there were going to be some new footer legs required for the playground equipment. So we got 2 stair legs at the freight charge is $105.90. And it's from Play World. I'll make a motion to accept that.
Not all of them survived the stripping of the old concrete, so there's a couple of legs got to be replaced. Second. Mike?
Yes.
PJ? Yes. John?
Yes.
Okay, do you want to take the... that's part of the... no, it's not a new business. We got the quote for the... Dig it out, playground base.
Yeah.
No, that,
Yeah, this is something we're gonna have to discuss. I don't think there's gonna be any, I wouldn't take any action on it tonight. I think we gotta think about it a little bit, but you done? Is that your report?
Yeah.
Go from there? All right, we'll stay on the playground then, but we talked at the last meeting that the two pieces we got that we've obtained that are over in storage in Bainbridge right now take up about 1,600 square feet. So we looked into the cost of installing, and this is kind of something we're into that's kind of new here. And I did a little excavation up there at Gardner after they took our pieces out to see what's there. And I think, Mike, I think you're the one that said that those wood chips are deep, and they are real deep. I think you said it too, right?
Yeah, foot deep.
They're installed at a foot deep. Of course, they're going to settle quite a little bit. And then they recommend, this to maintain them, you got to do a reinstallation after 6 months, approximately another 6 inches. It gets pricey to keep going after and after this. So we asked for a quote on installation of a 5,000 square foot play area. We have 1,600 square feet of equipment. So it's probably a little bigger than we want. This is also something that I'm working with Watershed Partners on. Would this grant through NatureWorks be applicable towards this? And she was going to make that contact today. The person she was looking for was out of the office last week. So we'll find out more about that this week. But let's, think about that. There's some follow-up. The wood fiber for the initial installation is like $5,000. So to reinstall 6 inches, you got to assume that's going to be another $2,500. And if we don't have any equipment to cover that, so I just want you guys to kind of hone in on what we want to do here with this grant. And there are now 3 townships, I guess, in the watershed that are going to make applications. I know one's Newberry. We think the other one might be Middlefield. That is part of, through they're going to go through Spring Watershed though, through NatureWorks. And the total available is $36,000. And the deadline is June 1st. So, like I said, Heather Elmer's working on what qualifies for funding. We got to work on what exactly we want to do.
Yeah,
And,
well, like I said, if you somehow allot maybe $15,000 for the setting up the base, and maybe get a price on a swing set, just to supplement that, just as a whole package.
We think we're going to walk away with something here. So, I wouldn't take any action on this today. But I did look at the drawings that we have in there. Larry, did you look at those too? I think the
Original layout?
the location of the playground looks about right. So, let's decide how big we want to go and how long we want to wait, I guess, is what we're going to do. So. Closing in on a Memorial Day speaker, we're going to have to set up we usually get together either late April, early May, mid-May, a couple weeks before with our committee and go over who's going to do what. Always looking for volunteers, Joan. That's why I'm looking at you. So if you could put something in the paper, we'd always appreciate anyone that wants to pitch in. There's a copy in mailboxes of the letter that Lori Sass put together, Lori Benza, for in regards to the USGS water study that's been punted back and forth a few times. We're going to meet April 5th over in Bainbridge. Invited the commissioners and requested any information from them that they've been working on, or any options they've come up with. I think all the trustees that were at that meeting have talked to Jerry Morgan at Water Resources, who seems to be heading up that project for the county. So, that'll be, that was pretty heavily attended by the public at the last one. I assume the same thing will happen this time. But looking to continue or replace or modify that program, but something's got to happen there. Something has to be done. Urgent, not really, but it's not something that township zoning can ignore because it's such a big part of our land use plan. So that's it.
Fred, what date was that meeting again?
April 5th.
Okay. To start off, I have your regular status reports in front of you. The payment listing report for warrants 2916 through 2937, as well as an electronic payment number 125, totaling $32,310.37. You also have your appropriation summary, fund summary, and revenue summary reports. I have final appropriations that we need to approve. There's not really any major changes from our temporary appropriations. When we adopted the temporary appropriations, I tried to put it together so that we wouldn't have to make any big adjustments going to the finals. The only real material change from the temporary appropriations was in our road and bridge fund. We did appropriate an additional $30,000, and the majority of that went to pay for HRA debit costs, because when our health insurance costs went up, it cut into the whole health insurance budget, and we needed more money in there to cover the HRA debits. Other than that, there was really no other changes from the temporaries. So I have a resolution 2016-7 for permanent appropriations for fiscal year 2016. And if you guys want to look at that.
You need that done today, Fred?
I'd like to get it done today if possible.
Well, why don't we move that then so they have, everybody has a chance to look at
Yep.
it before we approve it, and we'll just move on.
The other thing is, I wanted to update you on the service garage loan. Spoke to our bond counsel today. I touched base with Middlefield Bank last week, and there was quite a few legal documents from our bond counsel that went over to Middlefield Bank, and so they have outside counsel reviewing that right now. Their in-house counsel wanted to bring somebody else in to take a look at it. No issues. Everything looks like it's fine. They're working with them to just finalize a couple of minor details on the documents, and we should have paperwork soon. We could do a special meeting to execute the paperwork. Bond counsel advised me that any requested draws right now, we can pay that out of our cash funds and reimburse ourselves out of the bond funds.
Okay.
So that's where we stand right now on the...
So in other words, it's really not necessary to have a special meeting.
No, not really. And that is all that I have.
Okay. Well, we do have some gentlemen here that are here from the Service Garage Project. Mr. Larson, architect. Mr. Dixon, the construction manager. And
Marty Snow.
Marty Snow. I haven't seen your moment there. Today being a day where I've been overloaded with senior moments. So with that, I'm going to kind of have Mr. Dixon give us an update as to where we stand and where we're headed. I know we were cruising down towards final drawings.
Today I submitted drawings to the building department for
Okay.
permit. After having the zoning official stamp every page of 3 sets.
Oh my gosh.
Jim, those are 100% complete construction documents.
Yeah.
So we're at 100% on the drawings.
Yeah, and we got a exemption on the zoning because we're using it for the same purpose, the property. So all of that was submitted today. There were no issues with the building department. They said it would take about a week, and we will have our official permit to start construction of the new building. In the meantime, we have started to take the old building away. The structure above ground is gone, and we'll start tearing out the floor and everything else that's there. Continuing on, and the site contractor is doing his cuts for storm and so forth, which he can do prior to an official permit. So we're okay with all that. And the architect was kind enough to give me a picture of what we're building, and I wanted to share this with you guys. I hope it's not too shocking. If it is, it's his fault. Chief, you can have one.
You're pointing to Marty.
This is what we're building, guys. It's 100 by 200 square feet, 20,000 square foot building for $100 a square foot. $2 million. The contractor is here tonight. From Hummel, Marty Snowd, he's going to ask one of you gentlemen to sign a change order that is the guaranteed maximum price on this job. This is part of the design and build program that we are allowed to do in the state of Ohio. We hire the design firm and we hire the building firm, and they, together with myself, put this all together so we never exceed the budget and we get everything we possibly can in this building that the road department needs. Emmerich here, and we've worked weekly on this project to where we are today. And we're underway, and we'll be done by Halloween. I don't know what that means, but the end of October we'll be done. So I think that's pretty much what I have. Questions?
No, it just means that Gordy will have a place to pass out candy on Halloween.
There you go. We'll be there. So,
Trick or treat.
You want to present your paperwork, Mr. Snowd?
Yes.
Who's going to sign this? You?
I can do that.
Okay. This is an amendment. It's issued as a change order to Hummel's contract, which the original contract stated that the project was going to cost approximately $1.8 to $2 million. We didn't know exactly where it was going to fall because we were still in the design stage. Now that we know where we're at with the project on the cost, we issue an official document that says that Hummel guarantees that this project will not exceed $2 million in cost. That's a guaranteed maximum price. And that's what this change order that's being signed, that's what that says. So we are officially under contract for an official sum of money on this project, and thanks to everybody here, the architect, Mr. Larson and Hummel and Eric and John, we were able to put this together in a timely manner, and Chief Phillips has been a great help also with his knowledge of the property and utilities and so forth, so it went very well. I'm very happy with it.
Okay.
And I think that's all I have.
All right.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you.
You bet. You want to leave that for Fred? We're going to leave this with you, Fred. That's okay? And if you would check it out and then maybe make a copy for him. He's only got one.
Sure.
All right.
Fred, when you go up to collect the drawings, is that right? You're going to need to...
Yeah, they're going to call Nancy when the permit. We're going to need a check, but we don't know how much. They don't know either. I asked them, I said, what's this going to cost? He said, well, we don't know that until we look at it.
Okay.
So it's a kind of a
Well, I think
unknown right now.
what we're going to want to do is not wait though until the next meeting.
Okay.
Unless it works out that they don't call until the day before or something like
Right.
that. So we'll have to
Nancy can
check and get everybody to sign it.
Yeah, Nancy can get those signatures.
You guys have any comments or questions for any of the gentlemen here?
No, we've gone over it, you know. Alterations were made, it's pretty much the building we've been talking about for the last month anyway.
Any help I can be in with all my experience in building
I'll call you.
service buildings, give me a call.
Anytime, 24/7?
You got it.
Jim, last I heard the final big ticket items was air exchange.
The makeup air unit,
Yeah.
yeah. When we have a system in here, because it's a garage and we have large vehicles in there that could be running for any particular reason, whether it be maintenance or just pulling them outside, and there's a carbon monoxide detection system in the building that clears the bad air out. And when you take air out of the building, you've got to replace it with something, and it's a makeup air unit that brings in air to replace what's going out. And this is a voluminous building. I mean, it's huge. And that system has to be tempered air, which means that in the wintertime you don't want to bring in 0-degree air into your warm building to replace the carbon monoxide air that's going on. So you have to heat that air to bring it up to 60 degrees or whatever, so that you're not overtaxing your heating system in your building by introducing cold air. And it comes in, and I think it's 15,000 CFM is what the intake is of this unit. And it requires gas, natural gas.
The gas burner goes
So
in that
it's
thing?
it's a, we'd say that what, $20 or $25, $30,000?
Probably 30.
$30,000 unit, you know, which normally you wouldn't have in any other kind of building, but in a garage, that's what you got to have. And they have that up at the county garage. Everybody requires it, you know, it's the EPA stipulation. And you go nowhere without them on your side.
So, Emmerich, what are you going to do with Canary from the old building?
One other thing I think it'd be interesting to bring up, any of the liquids that come off the trucks and whatnot are all going into a holding tank.
Yeah, that's another whole system that is introduced to the project by the EPA, which means we have waste materials that leave a building in the form of storm water, which goes out to the detention pond that's shared with the fire department. We also have internal sewage that goes out to the septic system that's being shared with the fire department. So we didn't have to add anything for all that except just to get to those areas, and like we're doing on the existing building.
Right.
So that was nice there. But what the EPA has introduced to the program is that anytime you have an internal drain system and you're taking, I'll call it waste materials off of vehicles, whether it be snow or ice or salt or sand or whatever, that cannot go into either of those two systems by EPA regulations. They call that residual waste. That has to go out to a holding tank outside the building, underground, and it has to be emptied when it fills up. Whether that's every 6 months or every year.
How big is it?
And it's 3,000 gallons, is that what it is? Yeah, 3,000 gallons. So we anticipate that that's not going to be a big ticket, or not an event that's going to happen a lot of times, but it's still required by EPA, which is something new in the program that we have to abide by when we do these kind of buildings. So we have 3 different methods of getting rid of liquid waste in this project, which is unheard of, but not anymore. And maybe someday EPA will figure out what to do with that material. But it has to be hauled away by a tanker truck to a specific dump just for that, even though the same material that comes off of that truck is what we're putting on the roads.
Hey, Emmerich, did you talk to any of the adjacent townships, see how often they have theirs done?
Yeah, it's all different. We're incorporating a center drain as well to capture the water. This is going to be on demand, and with my talk with Akron Canton Waste, I think it was pegged at 3 times a year is what the civils came out when they figured it out. So we're looking at possibly, anywhere from 1 to 3 times a year. That would be about that.
What's that cost to get rid of?
Oh, well, we got the quote in there, and we have the contract as well. I don't have a dollar figure in my head right now. Jack, do you remember what that was?
You know, I don't know exactly, but I remember that it was a fairly significant amount. Maybe,
It's a per gallon price.
yeah, at all the way 3,000 gallons, it was somewhere maybe under $10,000.
Bear in mind that this is I'll call it a winter condition,
Right.
because in the summer, you're not gonna have that situation. So this is probably only 4 or 5 months. I hate to say only 4 or 5 months, but it's 4 or 5 months of every year that you're going to be collecting this kind of material. The rest of the summer, it's just rainwater. It doesn't, whatever drips is insignificant, other than in the wintertime when you're carrying in large amounts of snow and ice on your trucks.
Yes.
Just what water is going to go down to the pond? Just from the gutters?
Yes, off the roof, in the hard surface of the parking area, around the driveways, around the building. That's all asphalt surface that has to be controlled as to where it goes. That's all considered storm water. Same as the fire department, comes off of their roof and their driveways up there.
I'm well aware of that.
I'm sorry?
I'm well aware of that.
Okay, yeah, it's the same system and situation as the fire department. And it's the same system and situation as the existing building was.
The good thing about that is the stuff that comes off the roofs and the parking lot and the catch basins is filtered through the retention basin before it goes out through the grate.
Right.
So you
So
got a
what
little bit of a
does-
medium between the two.
What does that mean, the retention? What does it build?
That's that little pond that we built in the corner there. And what it does is when you have a huge inrush of water from a storm, instead of it flooding your property,
Well, it does
it holds
flood.
that water back. Well, it'd be way worse if we didn't have that.
Well, I have a deep ditch now,
It-
and
it'll-
I'm wondering what I'm going to have with more.
It's not going to change what's being done now by much.
You don't think?
No.
No.
So you really shouldn't see a noticeable difference.
Because we have to put in a culvert. It's made such a rut that we can't get through. And that's all the way through the pasture.
Well, I know we had a problem at one time, but we fixed that problem with the pond. It should be okay now.
No, we had rain not too long ago, and we had white water out there.
It'd be way worse if it was coming straight off the property.
Well, that might be, but I'm not real happy with the ditch I have. And the horses drink out of that water.
Well, the pond's been reviewed by
EPA.
EPA and also Soil and Water.
Yeah.
Well, that's
So,
good.
yeah, it meets our criteria.
I'm glad to hear that.
Okay, anything else? One little thing that Jim was procedurally, all invoices and correspondence go to Jim. And anything that comes directly to the administration building will just get waylaid. So,
Yeah, we're on the same page there.
Okay.
I'm gonna talk to Fred about that next time I come in.
all right. So once again, we penciled in now for the floating date is April 29th. It's a Friday,
Yeah, I won't be here.
so. All right. Do you have any more information you want to do on the playground equipment? We've
No, I
covered that.
think we got over everything that needs to be done tonight.
Okay. Roadside litter pickup is going to be April 30th at Adam Hall, 8 o'clock. We will do the same drill we've always done, provide a little lunch for the kids after around 11:30 to 12 o'clock, something like that. And we do have the bicentennial commission. Anything further on that?
No, I
do not have anything further on that. I'm sure we'll start on that as we start on Memorial Day things, putting that together too. That'll start falling into place.
We do have two resolutions here that have to do with our road projects. First is Resolution 2016-08. It has to do with the reconstruction of Ascot and Belmont Lanes. This is a total reconstruction. We do have Nick Goris from the engineer's office down here if anybody wants to raise any questions. The highlights of this project are going to be that we hope to start as soon as school's out and finish just before school starts. If we do run into any delays, we hope to have the first layer of asphalt down so buses and whatnot can still go down there and we can maintain orderly traffic. This is rather lengthy, so I don't know that we're going to read every word of this. But the highlights are that the county engineer has completed the plans, profiles, cross-sections, estimates, and specifications for the improvement and has filed the specifications with the board. We have them here. Township Board of Trustees reviewed the plans, profiles, cross-sections, estimates, and specifications and find them accessible. We've had numerous conversations. Emmerich has. We've met with them up at their offices, and a lot of discussions on this project. Whereas the cost of such improvement will not be excessive in view of the public utility thereof. Whereas the Auburn Board of Trustees is satisfied that the public convenience and welfare require the proposed improvement. Roads are totally falling apart. Be resolved that the Auburn Township Board of Trustees is in accordance with Section 573.06 of the Ohio Revised Code and hereby orders that such improvement proceed. Be it further resolved that the Auburn Township Board of Trustees hereby adopts the surveys, plans, profiles, cross-sections, estimates, and specifications for such improvement, costs which shall be paid from local funding sources in accordance with Section 5573.07 of the Ohio Revised Code. Be it further resolved that the fiscal officer of Auburn Township Board of Trustees is hereby ordered to let this project for bids in accordance with Section 5575.02 of the Revised Code. Bid shall be let upon a unit price bid. Bid shall be received by Frederick May, fiscal officer, until 4 p.m. official local time on April 18th, 2016. Bids will be publicly opened and read aloud at 7:40 p.m. the same day. And be further resolved that the fiscal officer of the Township Board of Trustees is hereby instructed to transmit a certified copy of this resolution to the engineer. So that's up for vote.
So moved.
Second.
Mike,
Yes.
PJ,
Yes.
John,
Yes. Okay, we have one more resolution. Oops. And this has to do with our chip sealing of various roads. It's Resolution 2016-09. Whereas the county engineer has completed plans, profiles, cross-sections, estimates, and specifications for the improvement, and has filed the specifications with the board, and whereas the Auburn Township Board of Trustees has reviewed the plans, profiles, cross-sections, estimates, and specifications and finds them accessible, and whereas the cost of such improvement will not be excessive in view of the public utility thereof, and whereas Auburn Township Board of Trustees is satisfied that the public convenience and welfare require the proposed improvement. Now therefore be it resolved that the Auburn Township Board of Trustees, in accordance with section 5573.06 of the Higher Rates Code, hereby orders that such improvement proceed. Be it further resolved that the Auburn Township Board of Trustees hereby adopts the surveys, plans, profiles, cross-sections, estimates, and specifications for such improvements, the costs which shall be paid from local funding sources in view of section 5573.07 of the Ohio Revised Code. And be it further resolved that the fiscal officer of the Auburn Township Board of Trustees is hereby ordered to let this project for bids in accordance with section 5575.02 of the Revised Code. The bid shall be let upon a unit price bid. The bid shall be reviewed by Frederick May, fiscal officer, until 4 p.m. official local time on April 18th, 2016. Bids received will be publicly opened and read aloud at 7:35 p.m. the same day. Be it further resolved that the fiscal officer of Auburn Township Board of Trustees is hereby instructed to transmit a certified copy of this resolution to the Geauga County engineer.
Hey, Nick, I do have a question on this one. This is Newberry's end of Valley Road too, right?
Correct.
I don't know what they use for aggregate, but that road's black, and our roads are more white.
Mm-hmm.
They aware that, are they color sensitive to that?
No, they're not color sensitive, and in fact, they haven't touched that road in a really long time, so it's not a matter of, it'll give us a better transition between townships, so.
Yeah. Hey, I don't know if, well, you've driven it, obviously, that's my neighborhood over there. It changes color right there at the
Oh, it
township
does.
line. Yeah.
We actually thought that they did it last year,
Yeah.
and then they said, we haven't touched it in quite a few years, so.
What'd they use to do that?
It's just a different product, a different stone, different, like a fog seal. I think they actually might have fog sealed that a few years ago, but it's been over 6, maybe 8 years since they touched that.
Yeah.
So, but it does, there is a distinct line.
Sure is. Yeah. All right, as long as I know. Motion approved.
Second.
Mike,
Yes.
PJ,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Okay, we do have one other project that we'll have for the next meeting, and that's going to be the large culvert project up on Westbrook. And that'll take care of everything that we have going out on county bids.
Washington, are we doing that this year?
Yes.
Yes, East Washington as well.
Yeah.
We do have a letter drafted up for the template that we had for the Chagrin Watershed Partners. So look at that.
Yeah. I'll make a motion to go ahead and sign that. And I'll just read the letter here. And this is to the Director Butler of the Ohio EPA. We are writing on behalf of Auburn Township to respectfully request the Ohio Environmental Protection Agency consider developing a watershed-specific permit for stormwater discharges associated with the construction activity and the National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System for the Chagrin River watershed. Chagrin River drains 267 miles in 4 northeast Ohio counties. 71 miles of the Chagrin River have been designated as a state scenic river, and watershed contains 20 miles of cold water habitat streams, the most of any river in Ohio. Portions of 22 municipalities, 10 townships, and 4 park districts cover the land use and other activities in the watershed. The watershed is experiencing significant development pressure as Cleveland population continues to migrate from the urban core to the inner ring communities to outlying suburbs. Stormwater runoff associated with development activities and increases in impervious area create channel instability, stream bank erosion, sedimentation, and habit degradation in streams, and carries pollutants to lake area that contribute to the harmful algae blooms and hypoxia. Healthy riparian corridors provide free flood control, erosion control, and water quality protection services to our community. Stormwater controls that infiltrate and evapotranspire runoff, mitigates the harmful effects of stormwater flows and improves water quality, and can protect the important values of the Chagrin River. Auburn Township requests the Ohio EPA develop a Chagrin River watershed permit for stormwater discharges associated with construction activity requiring NPDES permit coverage. Specifically, we request the following requirements be included: riparian setbacks consistent with the Chagrin Rivershed Water Partners Model Code. 11 communities within the watershed have adopted this model code, and 7 others have adopted some form of riparian setback requirements. Use of stormwater controls that infiltrate and evapotranspire runoff with a waiver provision if site conditions prohibit use. A numeric limit for total suspended sediment and sediment basin effluent, and requirement that developers modify basins to complete follow-up monitoring if the numeric limit is exceeded. Auburn Township strongly encourages the addition of these permit requirements to ensure development does not negatively impact the many valuable services and benefits our community derives from healthy Chagrin River and its tributaries.
Well, if the community doesn't have riparian zoning, I can certainly understand why somebody would balk at signing off on that, but we've had this debate, 6 years ago? So, the fact that we have riparian setbacks and have adopted most of that data that they're talking about into our zoning years ago, public hearing that I think we kept open for 6 or 8 months, and kind of be at cross paths to not endorse this letter because we've already done it.
Exactly.
Is that a second?
Yeah.
I'll make the second on the list.
Mike? Yes. PJ?
Yes.
John?
Yes. Okay, we have one other piece of housekeeping stuff here to kind of take care of. It's a temporary one-day nonprofit fundraising with permit for Adam Hall for use on April 23rd. Anybody have any objections to that?
Who's doing it?
LMBM.
Motion?
Fire away.
Make a motion to go ahead with this nonprofit event.
Second.
Mike?
Yes.
PJ?
Yes.
John?
Yes. Okay, and we'll back to Fred's request for temporary for permanent appropriations.
Yeah, and I printed off the temporary appropriations so you can see what we have for temporaries.
Where'd you say you had one change in R&B?
R&B, and there was a change in general. The change in general was because we were moving money from general to R&B, so you're going to see a change in both places.
30,000, can't see it. All right, I'll make a motion to adopt the permanent appropriations for 2016.
Second.
And then, of course, if we, per usual, we'll probably be doing supplementals throughout the year. Mike?
Yes.
DJ?
Yes.
John?
Yes. Okay, anybody have any comments? Yes.
Yes. Fred, as usual, I have questions about particular warrants.
Yes.
Okay, and first but not foremost, warrant 2928. Why do we have another GTA bill for $125?
That is for the upcoming dinner.
Yeah, except those are $50 a piece. So they're going to be 5 attending?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Who's attending?
The board, myself, and Chief Phillips.
Okay, thank you. And the warrant number 2916 for Lake Truck, $1,411.
I'm going to let Emmerich answer that one.
What's repairs to truck 19? Or is that truck 15? I had two trucks.
I think that was 19.
I had 19 and 15. Yeah, 15 would be 235. They were trucking. Right.
Okay, so the two of them together.
Yes.
Okay. What did Mr. Gutowski do? Warrant 2935. What kind of surveying?
That was for, I believe that was for the service garage, wasn't it?
Yes. It was the property boundaries.
Okay, $1,100. Okay,
Right.
thank you.
Any other questions?
Yes.
Yes.
What time on April 29th?
It's at 1 o'clock and
1 o'clock? Okay.
groundbreaking is 1 o'clock.
Yep. Any motions?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
You know what?
I would leave it here. It's safer. And that way, wander over. I think it would be with like, we're thinking
Next step.
What's do I have one? I guess I usually have mine.
a year ago, I still have it. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
John?
Yes.
You know,